and welcome to the Stolen Minutes podcast. I'm Carrie, and this is episode 6, and this is a podcast all about what I am knitting, sometimes crocheting, and today I'm going to share some of my sewing. Half is what will be in my shop update, hopefully this weekend, and the other is a personal sewing project that I did a couple weekends ago. So I'm going to talk about what projects I've finished since the last time I recorded, which was in the middle of August. So there's been a bit of time, so I kind of have a few things to share. And then I'm going to talk about what is currently on my needles, as well as what I'm looking forward to knitting in December for Advent and things like that. I'll also discuss a couple of books, or at least mention a couple of books that I've read lately. I won't really give a synopsis because I don't feel like I'm very good at that. And I just read for the pleasure of reading. I don't read with any intention of giving a book report. So I'm just going to share the books that I've read that I have enjoyed. Yeah, so let's get into it. If I'm looking down, I'm looking at my notes just to make sure that I say what I wanted to. It's been a little while since I have podcasted, so I feel a little bit rusty. I'm going to try not to cough. That has been part of my holdback in podcasting, is I have been sick since about the last time I podcasted, actually. Around Labor Day, I got a cold, and it just seemed like the cold that would never end. It's been a blast. No. But I feel fine. I've felt pretty good the whole time, but I've just had a stuffy nose or a cough that's just obnoxious and would sneak up on me anytime. So I've had that. And then I've also just been struggling, and it's manageable, but I have a bit of tennis elbow. I don't play tennis, but I have a tendency, 10 years ago, I pulled those tendons right there on the outside of my elbow, pulling a suitcase for too long, and then I knit on a plane for 8 hours or something, and yeah, I paid for it for a good 6 to 12 months. And then it's just a sensitivity that I know that I have, and I have to be really careful about picking up heavy things, especially with my right arm. And I did that. And so my knitting and just twisting a jar lid off, things like that, I have to be really careful. So I've been dealing with a little bit of that, and that has definitely slowed down my knitting mojo. And yeah, but it's all good. I can still knit. I'm going to knit. I'm not going to stop knitting. So moving ahead, what am I wearing? Let's talk about that really quick. It's actually warm today. It's November 14th, Tuesday. It's going to be a nice 65-degree fall day. A couple weeks ago over Halloween, it was 30 degrees or something crazy. And now we're back up to 65, and it's beautiful. So no complaints here. But this is the Coraline sweater by Ysolda Teague. I knit this back in 2012. In fact, I had to look at my Ravelry to see when I had knit this up. I started it in December 29th of 2011. I didn't finish it until September of 2012. So that's pretty consistent for me. That's still how I am. It seems like I start a sweater and I either finish it really quickly or it takes forever. And it's great. I wish the sleeves were a little longer. They're 3/4-ish, and they have this I-cord bind off. And yeah, I wish it was a little bigger. I probably am not the same size I was then, but it works. And I really like it. So I probably won't wear it too long today because this, it's out of a Cascade alpaca blend. And so it's pretty warm and I'm starting to feel like it feels a little prickly on my arms. So, but it's kind of the perfect weight with a little graphic tee underneath. So, that is what I'm wearing. Let's move into whips. No, I want to talk about finished objects first. Okay. I have been saving this big old stack down on my sewing table because I wanted to save them to share with everyone. So the first thing, this needs to get into the mail because winter is fast approaching, but this is a 4th hat by Isolde Teague. I knit this for my niece. She is 5, and yeah, it is just the most precious thing. So the yarn is created for you by Laura. It is a DK weight, and did I say this is the 4th hat? This is the 4th FORTH hat by Isolde Teague. It's one of her start at the crown increases. Just pick your yarn and pick your needles that you feel are appropriate for the yarn or are going to create the fabric that you want. And then you knit an inch or so of fabric, and then you measure your gauge and you look in the pattern and find your gauge with the size, and the rest is, all laid out for you. So I love these swatchless hats is what she calls them. She has the 4th hat. She has the Porty hat, which I have a finished object in that. And then she's got the Musselburgh hat. And I was thinking there was one more, but maybe not. But the 4th hat is you can knit your brim. And so I gave my niece a pretty generous brim. I hope this hat kind of grows with her. You could wear it not folded up, but this would give you a little extra warmth around your ears. And I just topped it with this hot pink pom-pom because when you're 5 or older, who doesn't want a hot pink pom-pom? So yeah, I foresee her really liking this hat. So yeah. So, the 4th hat, I was going to say, it is a ribbed brim stockinette body hat. And the Porty hat, which I'll show you next, is a 1x1 rib hat. So they're different. And then the Musselburgh, I've talked about it a gazillion times. Everyone's knit a bunch. It's the long tube that you insert into itself, and it makes a double, thick hat. So yeah, so this is finished object number 1. Like I said, I knit a Porty hat, and that is this. I knit this for my husband for his birthday. This is a 1x1 rib hat, and I knit this out of Cascade Eco Plus. When it's on his head, it doesn't flare out like that. I'm not going to put it on because it just ruins my hair. Yes, I have another one of these on the needles for a gift, but this Cascade Eco Plus is a really squishy yarn. It feels a little bit like woolen spun, but it's not. I have had this yarn in my stash forever. I actually have a Carbeth that I knit out of this yarn a few years ago. It is super warm, and I still have a huge, I think almost a full skein, or maybe I knit this out of that full skein, but there's still a bunch left. So I thought about knitting myself one because I love this color too. So, but it makes a nice squishy hat. All right. Okay, the rest are socks. All right. The first pair, let's see, probably the first ones that I finished were these Jellyfish Jubilee by Rising Tide Fiber Company. I hope these are focusing. This is the colorway Jellyfish Jubilee. This was the collaboration, part of the collaboration that we did with Knitty Natty back over the summer. We made those knitting mermaid bags, if you remember those. And I just loved the Rising Tide Jellyfish Jubilee colorway. So I snagged a couple skeins of that. I got one for me and one for my mom. These are mine. I have not knit up a pair for my mom yet, but I knew that I wanted the leg of the sock to be solid, and then I wanted to do something different with the heel and the toe. So I decided, because it came with two minis, it came with a hot pink and an orange mini skein with the full color. So I decided to knit my heel and my toe stripy. Okay. I love these, and I just winged it as far as the striping. I'd love to say that I will do this on all of my socks, but to be honest, it was kind of a little fussy. Not saying I won't ever do it again, but you know, it's more ends to weave in, and the yarn management on the heel was tedious, but look at that. I mean, nope, worth it. Worth it. Okay. Pair number one. Probably the next pair I finished were these. This is Leading Men Fiber Arts in the colorway Don't Rain on My Parade. And these are a fun rainbowy, I think it looks like clouds in there too. But these might be a gift. These I'm going to set aside. Even though I really do like them, but yeah, so there's finished pair. I don't know what I finished next, but let's talk about these. These are my Barbie socks. This yarn is from Skein Cocaine. And there we go. And this is her Barbie colorway. I just happened to catch on Instagram over the summer, around the time the movie came out, that she shared this yarn as her Barbie inspired colorway. And I had not bought any other Barbie inspired yarn, but this one and Skein Cocaine. Skein Cocaine is always a win to me. And so I grabbed 2 skeins of this as well. So I've knit up a pair for me, and I have some to make a pair for my mom. And all right, let's just stay with the pink theme, because why not? Here is a pair. I had this yarn in my stash for so long. This is Porter Wool Co. and the colorway, I don't think there was a name on it. I just have written down hot pink tweed, because that's what in my head I kept calling them. But yeah, I have been on a hot pink and orange kick. So that is a colorway to me or combination that just wins every time. So just plain vanilla socks, and yeah, I really am happy with these. So excited about those. And my next pair is yarn that I have had in my stash for probably maybe 5 years. This is Destination Yarn. This is her International Space Station colorway. I highly recommend this colorway. I originally, I bought this, I don't know, when we did a show together way back a long time ago. And it is just beautiful. Sorry. So this had been wound up in my stash for ever. And I finally just pulled it out and was like, just knit the good stuff. I mean, do you do that? Do you save like your favorite skeins for no good reason? I mean, that was this skein. That was this skein. They just had sat in my stash, and I just could not allow myself to knit them or something. I don't know. But I'm trying to not do that, because why save your favorite things? Our favorite things change a lot too, right? I mean, what you love today, years from now, may not be what you're into or whatever. So when you get it, if you love it, just knit it. Yeah, so happy to have those in my drawer. Last finished object, yes, and not quite finished because I have not woven in the ends yet, because there's a lot, because these are scrappy socks. Well, the other sock I have woven in about half, but do you see why I haven't woven in the ends? Ay, ay, ay. Oh, well, I'll get it done. I just need to sit down and do that. I've just not wanted to do that. So these are a pair of dream socks that I have had in my head for wanting to make for way too long. And I actually had started them quite a while ago and just, I don't know, fizzed out on them for some reason. I had pulled all of my pinks, and when I came back to them, I dug in my stash and picked up a few more to add to the mix. I think these had sat for a while. Now that I say that, I'm like, I don't know if that's, yeah. I think I had knit like through part of the leg on one, and then it was like I was just to town on them. So right when I was finishing up the second pair is when I kind of messed my arm up, and so that was fun. But yeah, so I gotta get these ends woven in because these are going to get a lot of wear. And so because they will get a lot of wear and I love them, I immediately cast on a second pair, and these will be for my mom. I have a pillow right here and it keeps poofing up. So I cast on a pair for my mom. I've got the first one done, and I just have the cuff of the second one finished, and I'm ready to start knitting. So I have all of these pink skeins in a bag together, and I just kind of keep adding as I come up with more leftovers, or I find one someplace. So yeah, so that is one, but it's not as, I mean, it's portable because it's a sock, but it's not the most portable because I'm changing colors every 5 rounds. On mine, I changed every 6 rounds, and on hers, I'm doing every 5. So just because it made it really easy to count how many rows I have. Yeah, so, okay, we're moving into whips now. Yes. So that is whip number 1, the second pair of scrappy pink socks. And let's see, we'll talk about my other pair of socks that's on the needles. I only have these 2. So my other pair is this pair of Saul Goodman. This is breaking yarn. Okay. This is breaking yarn. This is her Saul Goodman colorway. And goodness, it is so good. Oh, I love this yarn. And I mean, I love to pair my knits with a bag, and this one just, it coordinates perfectly. So those are in there. I'm past the heel. I'm in the gusset decreases. So those are good to go whenever I need a project to just stick in my bag real quick as I'm walking out the door. Another really good, now that I've got it, or it's going to be a good work on it, pick it up and work on it. This is another porty hat, and this is a gift for someone. So this is a tweed yarn. It's a worsted weight. It is universal yarn deluxe worsted tweed superwash. That is what this yarn is. And so this is a porty hat. I have knit this in a DK where I held 2 fingering weight yarns together. I knit it in that Cascade Eco Plus, which is a like an Aran weight yarn. But I'll be honest, right now I'm getting about the same gauge with this worsted that I did with that. So with the Cascade Eco Plus. So whatever. But so the porty hat is great. It's a 1x1 rib hat and it fits nice and super snug. So this is a gift and I need to have that done sooner than later. But it won't be a problem because I'm not too far away from just being where I'm knitting in the round. I'm maybe less than 20 rounds from being done with the crown increases to the stitch count that I need for the size, and then it will just be 1x1 rib for however long, and then binding it off. So, and then this is going to be a whip, and this is Ridiculous Yarns. It's in a sparkle base and it's called Butterfly Effect. I'm going to knit a Musselburgh for my niece. She's kind of outgrown the other hats that I knit her. Not even so much outgrown it because of her head size, but the one hat that I knit her that we just love is it was an ear flap hat, and I had knit her 2 in a couple different sizes. I think the smallest one still fits her, but she's in kindergarten now, and so even last year wearing the ear flaps, they had a hard time getting her to keep that on. So we are going to move up to big kid hats that don't have ties, even though that one was so cute. Yeah, maybe when she goes out and plays in the snow, she'll let him put it on. But anyways, I think she will love this one. It's got sparkle in it, so what's not to love about that? I hope that I can get her a whole Musselburgh out of one skein of DK. I'm a little worried about that. So I do have in my head like a hot pink or something that I could put for the other half, maybe, so when the brim pulls up or something like that. Or even just other DK leftovers they'll always be on the inside of the hat. We have options, right? We have options. So that is a future whip, but I would like to give her this for Christmas, so it needs to be started. Hopefully I'll get to it this week. And then the whip that I am so happy about, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I've been sharing some progress on Instagram as I've gone along, but I am super happy to report that this weekend I finished the first sleeve of my ranunculus. So past couple podcasts, I have shared the struggles that have been this sweater. All like my problems, not the pattern or anything. But seriously, there's like 18,000 projects of these or something on Ravelry. If you haven't knit a ranunculus, please do so. It is a really fun pattern. I am so excited to get this done and be able to wear it. So now that I have the first sleeve done, I just need to get this sleeve on the needles and it should fly. I knit the sleeve, I knit most of the sleeve. I knit to about here in the car over probably 3.5 hours or so over the weekend. And then I finished up the rest of it during the Bengals game on Sunday and later that evening. So, and this yarn here was just me counting how many rows I did before I got to where I thought I wanted the length I tried it on. So yes, this is held 2 Shibui yarns held together. One is a linen, one is a 100% merino. I do not remember the color of the yarns off the top of my head, but So I have a cotton yarn, a cotton and merino blend yarn that I got this summer that I started a tank top out of, and I'll be honest, it's going to need some modifying, and I just think that yarn would be gorgeous in a short sleeve or even cap sleeve ranunculus. When I tried that one on just with the sleeves on hold and had the body done, I really, really liked the way that those sleeves look. So I would kind of like to do that. And it would probably knit up fast. So just doing, you know, the body and like the sleeves not having to knit. So, but that's not for now. That's not for now. That's a summer, spring knit. Okay. That is all of my, that's all my whips. Let's see. Let's talk about what is coming up as far as knitting for Christmas, December, Advent, all that. So this year I decided that I am going to do 2 Advent socks. I purchased the Cozy Knitter and Freckled Whimsy. I did both of those last year. And I did a pair for me and a pair for my mom, and I'm going to do the same thing this year. So I need to start those 8 cuffs because I will work the socks at the, you know, all together. I will do each pair, and I have 2 pairs and 2 of each yarn. So 8 socks total yeah. So I need to get those cuffs started. That may be a Thanksgiving activity. So that way on December 1st, I am good to go to start those stripes. And so I will do 8 stripes a day. I have no expectation that I will keep up. I know there's going to be days where I fall behind, and that is okay. I catch up on the weekends or when I can. So, so I have those 2 Advents that I'm going to knit, and then some like dream knitting things and or Christmas gifts that I would love to finish is over the summer, my mom and my sister and I, on our family girls trip to Gatlinburg, we all decided before we even went that we wanted to get those geese that were really popular back more when I was a kid, that you would buy clothes for, or, you know, like seasonal outfits. And we just got it in our head that we all wanted to get those together, the concrete statues. This, like, doing things in triplicate is not new for us. It is something we often do, either with clothes or things like that, or jewelry, what have you. So we got these geese. We painted them when we got back home, and we've acquired a few little outfits here and there. But I was looking at mine, and I didn't really have anything for Christmas, and I actually have her sitting over by my fireplace because I didn't want to put it away in the shed for the winter, and I really didn't want to leave her sitting out in the weather. So I brought her in the house. So she's going to be decorated. And what I've decided to do is I am making a stocking hat for my goose. And I want it to be one of those like long ones. And yeah, so I'm just making it up as I go. It kind of started with my sock stitch count, and I've done some decreases, and I'm writing it all down, and I'll put it on my Ravelry page if, you know, if you have a goose and you feel the need that you want to make a hat. But so I'm kind of just pulling from my scrappy pink socks and doing a scrappy pink hat. So that's another whip. But that I would like to make them a hat for Christmas. So we'll see how far I get with that. It might even just be I'm going to mail you a fun gift type of thing. So, so the Advent socks will be my focus. But I also, have you seen the Field sweater? I can't remember who the designer is. But anyway, the Field sweater, look it up. It has a beautiful yoke that, what did they call it? Grains. So I guess it looks like grains of wheat or something like that. But it's this really pretty yoke pattern. And the designer knit it in one color, but then one of her test knitters put a mohair contrasting in the textured part of the yoke. And now I can't get that out of my head. And I can't get it out of my head in a certain combination. So I have some green Malabrigo in my stash that I have had forever, and it's not enough to make a full length like sleeve cardigan or sweater. It's just like a couple skeins short, I think, for me to feel comfortable to start that kind of a project and not have enough. But I recently acquired some beautiful red yarn that's in the same weight. I believe it might also be Malabrigo, or it's Madeline Tosh. You know what? I think they're both Madeline Tosh now that I say it. Yes, they're both Madeline Tosh. The green is a DK and the red is a sport weight. So I want to make the Field sweater, and I want to do the body in the green because I have more of that. So the body and the sleeves would be green, and then the yoke with the grain pattern, I want to make that red and hold it with a red mohair, because I just think that would be beautiful. It would be a way to use my green yarn that I love the color of, and it would make a fun, festive Christmas sweater. Can I start that and finish it to at least be able to wear at the, last week or so of December? I don't know. Do I want to start that when I know that after December, I probably won't really want to wear it? But maybe I will wear it, even if I'd finish it in January. If I finish it mid-December, end of December, still wear it into January, probably. Probably will. So I did order some mohair from Knit Picks. I actually ordered a couple of different things, or of some different colors of mohair. But I ordered some red, and that is something that I would love to get wound up and cast it on. It's just going to take me some motivation and make myself do it. I tend to put off doing some of those things like that. So we'll see. But I also bought some mohair because I wanted to get the free shipping. If you're going to order, you might as well at least order enough to get the free shipping. So ever since Helen Stewart came out with her Knit Vent trifle wrap a few weeks ago, I cannot get that out of my head. So this will not be something that I cast on in this calendar year. I'm thinking this is going to be after I've finished my Advent socks, maybe like a New Year's Eve cast on, or, after Christmas, something like that. But I have an Advent that I bought in 2021 from McMullen Fiber Company. I absolutely love it, and it is so precious that I have not decided what to knit it into. And it's one of those things, it like wears on me. And I'm tired of thinking about it sitting down there. I've thought about making a sweater, but I don't know if I would love that. I've thought about knitting a dotted raise by Stephen West. I have a dotted raise in all pinks. It's actually hanging right there, and I absolutely love that shawl. I find it to be really wearable, easy to wear, but I'm not really in the mood to knit that shawl. I don't know why. But I have decided that this Knit Vent trifle wrap might just be the ticket. It's designed for 24 minis that are 20 grams. I think the minis that came in the Advent from McMullen Fiber that I have are 25 grams, so it would leave me, I would have plenty. And so they're kind of a range of colors. And I kind of laid them all out, and I ended up grouping them into like colors. So there's kind of a red color section. There's another section that's a little more on the blushy pink side. There's a blue, blue/teal color section. There's a gold section, and then there is a hot pink/purple section. And there's anywhere from 4 to, I believe, 6 minis in each of those sections. And she designed the shawl to be knit with fingering weight, but you could use it with DK. Mine is fingering weight, and she held hers with a mohair. And so I really want to do it with the mohair. I just think that would be so cozy. It makes up a great big triangle wrap is what it makes up, and it is a ripple pattern. And so I just really want to do it. It looks like there's an eyelet row in there. And I just haven't been able to get it out of my head. And so when I arranged my colors to try and pull like what kind of mohair do I want to put with this, because I want the mohair to just kind of melt away. I don't want it to color the whole thing. Like I at one point I thought, oh, what about black? But with some of those lighter colors in there, I just think it would look, I don't want the black with like a creamy neutral to look like a black and white together. So so what I'm gonna do, and maybe I'll put a picture in here, is I ordered, so then I matched up a mohair with each section of those colors, the red, the gold, the blush, the teal, and the hot pinky purple, and I matched it up with a mohair. So I have 5 colors of mohair that I am going to hold with those sections. So I have a red mohair to hold with the reds, so that'll bring out the red in those. I have an oat color to put with the golds. I have a blush pink to hold with the blushy neutral-ish skeins, and I have a teal color to hold with the blue and the teals, and then I got like a hot pinky purple to hold with those. So hopefully it's going to highlight those. But what sold me was when I did the mohairs, I took screenshots and I laid them out with it to see like, oh, is this going to be, those mohair colors are a beautiful palette together. And that sold me. I thought, okay, I love the way these mohairs look together. I just went for it. So I have mohair coming my way. I don't normally knit with mohair. In sweaters, I have one where I did some Surrey, and that sweater is so warm. I don't get to wear it a ton because I get hot. So I don't do I haven't done any other sweaters with the mohair, even though I love the way that it looks. So I think this is going to be fantastic. I'm super excited, and I think, like I said, I will wait until after December to cast that on, because I'd love to just only knit on that for a while, because I think it's going to be really, really engaging, and I'll really want to just knit on it exclusively. So that is something I am really excited about. And yeah, I think that is, yeah. So I'm looking forward to the Advents. I want to get excited about casting on that field sweater. I think I'm just worried about not finishing it and then being disappointed, but it's a DK weight sweater, so it'll work up at a decent pace. And I'll have the motivation of wanting to wear it in December. So it's kind of a motivated knit. Yeah. So that is that. Oh, I haven't made a hard decision, but Vlogmas. It's getting super close to thinking about that. I did Vlogmas last year, and it ended up that I just recorded little bits every day, and then I put them together in more of like a weekly format. I'll be honest, I don't know if I'm going to do Vlogmas this year. It is very time consuming, and yeah, I just don't know if that's where I want to spend my time. But I would love to do a maybe early and mid and late December, or early and late, like beginning and end of December. And I'll be recording little bits here and there, and I'll, more than likely be sharing lots of stuff on Instagram, or, daily updates on Instagram. So, but I don't think I'm not going to plan to put out a weekly vlog. My life right now is not, affording me that time to, do that editing and uploading and make it the way that I want to. So that's what I'm planning on doing right now. But who knows? I may find myself really missing it and want to do it. But I would like to do a beginning of December and like at the end of the month. So, let's see. So with that, my sewing whips that I was going to share. So I am hoping that by this weekend, I will be ready for a shop update. This is a shop update that I have been like I said, I've not felt super great. I've been extra busy this fall. And so I just, like, my sewing days have just always gotten interrupted, it seems like. I'll plan to sew, and then something comes up and I don't get the time, or I only get an hour or two to dig into it. So it's been like this thing. But I absolutely love these bags, and I want there to be a bigger buildup than I feel like I am giving it. So I don't usually share bags too much here on the podcast. My shop updates have been really sparse since the summer. So I am planning on this being my last update for 2023. If I suddenly find myself with extra time and I can make some bags to put in the shop, I will do that after Thanksgiving, but I would love to have these done and in the shop before Thanksgiving break, just because I can't wait to share them. Okay. I love them all. Okay. I'll start with this one first. So here is my first bag. These are retro kitties. I love them. These will be available in small, medium, and large. I won't have them in notions, but I will have our small, medium, and large. This is a medium, and this is perfect for like your 2 to 3 skein projects. I use it for hats. I use it for my scrappy socks. Yeah. And as you know, all of our bags have a stitch marker ring in them to put your tapestry needle, your little snips. We have some kitty and puppy snips in the shop. That would be a great little addition to this. And so this is bag number 1. And then we are going to have this fun floral. You know me, I love all the floral bags. This is a nice, all of these are a canvas bag. And so they're still squishy and pliable, but they do have enough body to them that they will stand up on their own. So this, again, all of these are just in the medium right now, but these I will have in our notions and medium and large. So no small and no sock size in this print, but notions, medium, and large. And then I dare say my favorite print of this collection, but I've been loving the hot pink and the orange, and these big poppies just fit that bill. And oh my goodness, I love this bag. All of our bags have our signature stripes in them with Stolen Minutes on the inside. They are all flat bottom bags, so they have a gusset and they sit. But these we will have in our small, medium, and large. And small is perfect for socks. Medium is a 2 to 3 skein, and then the large is perfect for sweaters. I have my ranunculus in a large. It's great for Advent knitting. You'll be able to put all your minis in there. So that is the shop update. And like I said, I'm hoping to do that this weekend. I don't know if Friday will work, Friday evening, or do it Friday evening, or maybe even sometime over the weekend. But my plan is this weekend, and I hope to get this podcast up before that. I'm always just making lots of plans. Okay, so my last crafty project, and then I'll talk about the few books that I wanted to share. So my sewing project that I wanted to share, that is not bags, it is for me, is I am a very, very, very novice quilter. My grandma was a quilter. She can't quilt anymore, but I channel her anytime I am quilting. Yeah, like she made beautiful quilts, and I am fortunate enough to have a couple of those. But I've quilted I made a baby quilt for my niece, and I just tied it. I didn't quilt it when I was done. I just pieced it all together and then tied it. And I made a throw size quilt. The very first one I made, and it's just a throw, and I did quilt that one on my domestic Bernina years ago. And then I've made 2 like table runners. I have one right here. I absolutely love it. It is all scrappy, and I did like matchstick quilting, which is really, really narrow, like 1/4 inch, just straight lines quilting on that. And then I have a flying geese runner that I have on my buffet over by my kitchen table, or a cabinet I have over there. So, but that one over there, the colors in it are pretty muted, and it's a little more springy summer, and it's just not kind of where I'm at. I love bright, saturated colors, and I love stripes. So I have made a new runner. I did this a couple weekends ago. Inspiration just hit, and I decided I wanted to do this. I don't even know if you can see the whole thing, but it is leftovers from a bunch of our bags. And I had these squares cut already, and I just decided I'm going to make them into a runner. And so I did some quick measurements, and I have quilted them. They're not super exact quilting lines, but just straight quilting. I kind of love that. It's easy, and I can do it, and I love the look of it. So yeah, it's not perfect, but it's going to be great. I need to cut off this my batting and the back that when I quilted it, you have to leave extras so that way you don't run short on your back and stuff. I probably left way more than I need to, but I just went with what I thought would work. And then I think I'm going to put a stripy binding on it. I love that. So I did not do that on this one, but I did on a quilt, on 2 quilts that I've done. So that is my just totally making me happy project. So I will not finish this until I finish these bags. I've already told myself that. So I have to make the binding still and attach that. And I put it on by machine, like the first part, but then when I turn it, I like to do that by hand. So that will be a fun project. So I'm excited to get this on my sideboard. I don't even know. It's not that fancy, so I hate calling it a sideboard, or it's not really a buffet. It's more of a sideboard, but yeah. So, all right. Last thing here is talking about things that I have read and or are reading. So currently I like to read a book, a hard copy book, before I go to bed. Just stays next to the bed, and I read that at night. And then I also listen to my books on tape, because when I'm sewing or knitting or in the car, I will listen to a book. So what I'm currently reading is Holly by Stephen King, and oh, it is good. It feels very classic, almost old school Stephen King to me. I am loving it. It's definitely a little disturbing, but in the best Stephen King way there is possible. Do you like Stephen King? Are you afraid of Stephen King? I have read Stephen King since I was in middle school. I remember reading The Dark Half. That was probably the first book of his that I read and just loved. And then I also read Needful Things. Those two probably solidified my Stephen King love. My mom has always read Stephen King. I remember her reading that when I was growing up, so of course I wanted to read it too. I'm looking up here because I have all of my Stephen King books up in shelves up here in front of me. So yeah, there's quite a collection. And over the years, I have gotten different ones at thrift stores, or, half price books, like secondhand stores, because I like some of those older vintage copies. So yeah, I've read a lot of Stephen King. And then what I'm currently listening to is Montana Sky by Nora Roberts. I like this book, but I will be honest, it's a little raunchy in spots. Like, I'm kind of like, whoa, can't have that accidentally come on in the car with the family. Nora Roberts is great. I haven't read a Nora Roberts for years. And so this one just caught my eye. And yeah, so just listening to that. And then the most recent book that I finished that I just thought, oh, I want to share this because it was so good and it was new to me, is a CJ Box book. This is Dark Sky, and it is in his Joe Pickett series. It was really good. It was very captivating. My mom shared this book with me, and she really likes these books, and so I think she gave it to me originally to share with my husband for him to read, and I just grabbed it. Sounded good, and yeah, it was. So if you're looking for a different series, highly recommend. And probably any of his others. I think he has there's another series of it. And Joe Pickett is like a ranger in Montana. And so it's about him and things that go on there. Like I said, I'm not good at giving like a book report kind of synopsis of a book, so I'm not going to do that. But highly recommend CJ Box. The most recent book one of the most recent books that I read that was really good was Grandma Gatewood's Walk. And it's by Ben Montgomery, and it is a true story about Grandma Gatewood, who was a woman at the age of 65, 67, decided she was going to walk the Appalachian Trail. And it is his research about her walking that told. So it was very interesting. She was from Ohio, which was really cool. I believe southeastern Ohio, I think. And so it was really good. So highly recommend Grandma Gatewood's walk. So those are the most recent things that I've read and enjoyed. Yeah. Whew. This feels like it's been a long one. And yeah, I'm going to try to get this uploaded and out to you. So that way it's done before I might do one at the beginning of December, because we all know that if I don't do it right away, it's going to sit in my projects or sit on my computer, and it'll take me a month. So I want to get this done sooner than later. So I should hop off of here, but I hope you all have a great day, and I hope you find lots of stolen minutes in your day to knit or crochet or sew, whatever is calling your name at the moment. So good luck getting ready for all of your Advents and getting all prepped for that. And I will see you soon, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye.